Oh, I'm reading the encyclopedias, I think.
Sean's not coming tonight.
Yeah.
I just heard his name. All right, okay, guys. No, we can pull one of these over.
We got all kinds of.
I know, we got a million mics.
We're all set.
I hope
Somebody
there's a lot of
sneezes,
talking
doesn't it?
today.
Yeah, they'll hear it.
All right, so we're going to open up the Finance Committee meeting for June 20th, which I'm thinking is going to probably be our last meeting of this FY12 fiscal year. We'll see about that. We'll see how we go.
I
So,
imagine so.
June 20th.
Unless I get a bill from Mr. Wheatley in regards to the delineation of Griffin's Dairy, which I am patiently waiting on.
All right, well, welcome, everybody. Thank you. Had a couple of weeks off since the annual and the special town meeting. Welcome.
The short interruption, I'm walking a lot better. I'm not hunched
Good.
over like an old man, and
Good, we're glad.
I'm walking 2-3 miles a day, and that's my therapy for my back surgery. So.
Excellent. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, on our agenda tonight, we have just sort of like a debrief if there was anything we wanted to talk about as to what has happened, you know, subsequent to the annual meeting. Then we have some year-end transfers. And anything else that we want to bring up there? Want me to throw it to you, John?
Sure, I'll start. First of all, with the impact of the abrupt question of the quorum resulted in the premature termination of our town meeting. We had two very important articles, one of which, three actually, that were not completed. One deals with the payment of the printer. We're going to take care of that tonight in the intermunicipal transfer requirement. So we're going to be able to take care of that. So that article does not need to carry over to the fall. However, we do not have a balanced budget as of the beginning of the fiscal year. We, in our budget, in order to balance it, figured approximately $70,000, which was an article that would have established the enterprise account for ambulance receipts. And the chargeback to that is approximately $70,000, which is income to the town that we need in order to balance out the FY 13 budget. Is it a big deal? No, it's not. So, that issue is not a big deal. What is of concern to me is also the article that would have corrected the actual mailing of notification from a postcard, which requires us to, in a postcard format, requires us to list the name and address of each individual. And so we can't send those out, carrier pre-sort, which would give us a higher rate for mailing, which wouldn't save us all that much money in relationship to the actual mailing. We still don't have to mail out the warrant, which is somewhat of a break. So until we can get that matter resolved, which will be at the fall town meeting, I'm afraid that we're going to have to either go with the postcard, which is going to cost us some money, or actually mail out the warrant, the final warrant, one more time. But either way, I think we're going to get council's opinion as the fall town meeting approaches so that we can determine how best to conform with what we have for an existing new bylaw as it relates to notification, proper notification. That's it in a nutshell, as far as I can see.
Yeah, that's so, okay, so we'll know more, obviously, about the mailing of the proper notification before we have to make any mailings.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, we'll include everybody in that process.
All right. Anybody have any questions about those items? Good. All right, excellent. All right, shall, you have some things here for us?
I do. Actually, what I wanted to provide you with is the informational guideline release back in May of 2006 by the Bureau of Municipal Finance Law, which deals with the issues of year-end transfers. And the biggest item that you will see in our year-end transfer request is on page 2 of this document here. This is the actual request. You'll see $30,000 from trash collection to town council legal, as well as public health nursing, which is also part of the budget for the Board of Health. Now, I also have this revenue and expenditure report that I was able to print out, and if you turn to the last page of that, you will see that we have the original budget and the actual, in the adjusted budget. The original budget is 1.143970.22 million. If you take 3% of that number, you will see that we are a little short of our calculation of the 34,000. What was my writing?
So, yeah, help me-
Here it is.
help me
My
with
writing is on the last page of the we would need 34,319,106 if we use that calculation. However, the statute requires us to use the total budget amount. And the total budget amount, which is the adjusted budget, is 1.347. What constitutes that adjustment? If you turn to the revenue and expenditure comparison control sheet, you will see landfill capping, which falls under the Board of Health budget, is $199,000. If you add those numbers up, the adjusted budget actual for FY12 for the Board of Health is 1.347. That allows us to transfer 3% of the 1.347 million, which gives us a total of $40,413,318 transfer. So we are well within our means from a statutory perspective as to what we need for transfer purposes from the Board of Health. for transferring a total of 34 and change, 35. It's 30,000 plus 4,636. Get that? Want me to go over it again?
Yeah, I see the 30,000 transfer from trash collection to town council.
But then you see transfer from public health nursing, which is
Okay.
also under the Board of Health budget. If you add those two numbers together, depending upon which number you use, either the original budget or the adjusted budget, we fall a couple of $100 short under the original budget, but the town accountant has indicated that we can draw from the adjusted budget because that is the total operating budget for the department, which includes landfill closure. So she's made the determination that we're well within the 3% cap under the Board of Health budget as a whole for which we could transfer. And the reason why I say that is that if you look at the guideline information, we are a city or a town, but we are more a town than we are a city. And under the general procedures for appropriation transfers for town, we can transfer more than 3% of the department's annual budget or 5,000, whichever is greater. In this case, the 3% is greater than the 5,000, so we can transfer that money and be within the guidelines of our.
The 3% as long as we take the total Board of Health budget, we're
That's
within.
correct, which is the 1.3 million, which includes the 199,000 for landfill closure, which is really under the Board of Health budget. So,
Okay, and that's been approved by the town accountant,
it's been approved by the town accountant.
or reviewed by
It's been
them?
reviewed by her, it can't be approved. It was
Yeah.
approved by the Board of Selectmen. It now requires your, according to this bylaw, your consent or vote to support. Because it says here, during the months of May, June, and the first 15 days of July, the selectmen, with the agreement of the Finance Committee, may transfer any departmental appropriation or any other appropriation within the same or other department. This procedure may not be used, however, to transfer from a municipal light department to a school budget or more than 3% of a department's annual budget of 5,000, whichever is greater.
I'll make a motion to approve.
You want to go through any of the transfers and talk about them and all?
Okay, so we have 5 different transfers, intermunicipal transfers, which is generally something that we do year end anyway. It's basically to move money from one budget to the other, to another, in order to cover outstanding bills or, some sort of outstanding budget item. So we have 5 of them. Does anyone have a preference whether we go through all 5? Anyone have any concerns about it, or we could just take them all as a lump sum? That is the largest one, which is the town council deficit, which is the largest transfer, is that 30,000, which you've already addressed.
With regard to the town council deficit,
Mm-hmm.
the automated trash collection, health insurance changes, arbitration hearing, independent counsel for review, and bylaw review committee articles. So I guess my question is, was there an anticipated cost? Was there a cutoff? Okay, you get this much time. How did we go over?
Well, we went over in a couple of key areas. One was the health agent had several cases of housing conditions which require us to go to court. She filed, we are required to have representation because of public health and safety. We also had issues, as I looked at the bills, we also had issues with respect to bylaw review. Now, bylaw review is every 3 years. There was a good amount of money spent between Copeland and Page and bylaw review, getting the bylaws written legally and appropriately, and then getting them, before town meeting. Obviously, that was something that doesn't happen every year. That number probably was as high as $10,000 to $12,000 when it was all said and done. And then there were, as there always is, a number of issues with regard to employment matters, labor issues. Most of them were caused, I think, by the fire department, where we are in arbitration right now. That's going to carry over to this year because they're not, even though we're going to have a hearing on the 28th of this month, by the time that hearing is billed out, it's going to be a July cost or maybe an August cost. So some of that drove the 44,000. I'll explain to you that we are capped at $24,000 with respect to legal bills. When we reach a $24,000 threshold, opinions and everything else that we deal with are, not everything else, but a certain amount of issues that are dealt with like opinions. If I was the Board of Health agent and I wanted to call to get an opinion on a particular matter, if we passed the $24,000 threshold, which clearly we did, of the $54,000 that was appropriated, then that issue would be dealt with at a no charge. And we can go back and look at all of those charges and see where the money is coming off. So this number, this 44,000, could have been higher by another 30 in relationship to what ended up coming off our final bills as a result of the cap. And we also had a $3,000 litigation cap. The $3,000 litigation means that they'll do the first $3,000 pro bono, so to speak, until we then get into hearing or court proceeding or depositions, at which point the bills can skyrocket. We have 4 cases pending that required either depositions or court appearances. The matters dealt with land takings, zoning, and I think there were some planning issues with takings that we, for subdivisions to have them completed. And so those were the issues that really drove the bill to the 44,164 number over what we had appropriated.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Looking for, okay. Rick, you were going to make a motion. I mean, if you want a motion for them all?
Yeah, one with motion. I was at the selectmen's meeting Monday night, so I heard all
Oh, you
this.
heard, yeah, okay.
And Cindy was there too.
All right,
But why don't we just make one motion to approve all of
you can do that.
it?
Anyone want to second that? Okay, all those in favor of approving the FY 2012 intermunicipal transfers that we have on this exhibit, all those in favor? Okay, so that's good. All approved? All approved, thank you. Excellent. Okay, so that's that. And then we've had a little update on on the year-end budget. Do you foresee having to have anything else between now and then? I just would need.
Well, there's
some
only one
time to-
outstanding issue, and that is the delineation of the Griffin's Dairy wetlands. We were
Okay.
hoping that we would get a bill from Russ Wheatley before the end of
This month.
this month. We can go as late as July 15th, but it would require a Board of Selectmen vote, and we would have to find the money, to transfer within the 3% cap limit of the budget of the department that we're transferring from.
Are the Board of Selectmen planning to meet between now and then? I don't think they've
The
gone-
next meeting is July 18th. I think.
Okay, so they're beyond that. They would have to call. a
So this
separate
is going to
meeting,
be
Okay.
an article that we're going to have to pay Russ at
At
the fall town meeting.
The delineation's complete at this point, correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm going to find out, tomorrow at breakfast when we have our little meeting at Martin's restaurant. So.
All right, I was just trying to figure out if we had to meet next Wednesday.
I
which is
don't
27th,
believe so. No,
okay.
I think we're pretty much complete.
Okay.
We've taken care of the lion's share of them. We can finally get a payment out to that poor front printer
Yeah.
who ended up moving out of town. I don't think it was because of us, but he went to Weymouth.
Can't pay his
He'll
bills.
probably get paid sooner in Weymouth than
Yeah.
he will in Abington, but that was a terrible situation.
A lot of things involved in that.
Yeah, that was a unfortunate set of circumstances. But we do have $12,000 left over in your account, which is going to go to free cash.
I don't think have we used any of it?
We used 8.
We did? Okay.
I think it was for elections or something, I think.
I didn't think we did.
Yeah, we used 8.
All right, maybe we did.
I think we did use it.
I haven't gone to see the numbers, so.
Hmm.
All right, so that, and what that means is that it all goes back to the general account, which is.
Yeah,
good.
general fund, and it would be free cash.
General-
We expect a
general-
pretty decent number
That's in your blank doc.
for free cash. I'm
Is
hoping,
it?
yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. Actually, we just issued a building permit today to Cape Cod Lumber, which
Oh,
is their
good.
first phase of building, and the building fee was $58,000, which we got at the end of the fiscal year, which would obviously roll over, to free cash. So we have some monies that we can anticipate and count on that are going to generate some free cash.
Is it just building? Have the trades come in yet? The electrical and the plumbing, have they got? Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good number, but again, it'll be one of these issues where it was like building Lowe's or Walmart. We got an infusion of a large sum of money, and then, the local receipts kind of withered down a bit, and now we're going to see another upswing for this fiscal year. So the good part about FY14, if we can look forward for a second, is the fact that, we'll have our savings in healthcare, which we estimate to be about 140,000 plus
For 2014.
for 2014, plus 340,000 for trash. And that is if the condos aren't picked up. If the condos are picked up, then that number is going to be a little less. When we spoke at town meeting about what the amount was for what was needed, we said about 30, what did we say, 36 or
I don't recall if we
26,000? I
had a
remember.
number, right?
I think it was a number, I think it was about 36. I think that number is going to be fairly accurate with respect to transportation and collection
For the condos.
for the condos.
Is that an annual
We have
cost
that.
of 36, or is that for the 6 months that we were talking, July to December?
That's for the 6 months.
And then we don't know what happened, where we're going with that after that.
No.
But we do have the money to do that.
We
in the
we
6
have,
months.
we anticipate that we're going to have a certain amount of savings from the 2-barrel limit, from the 1-barrel limit, from the 3-barrel limit. The 3-barrel limit at curbside is 32-gallon containers equaling 96 gallons. We're going to go down to 64-gallon containers. We've calculated, based on 64-gallon containers, X amount of savings in tipping and trash. Also, the tipping fee is less. It went from 80 to 66. And we anticipate that recycling will increase. And that recycling number, we're estimating to have 25,000 in revenue for FY 13, potentially.
What about, what we're doing while we're waiting for the barrels? Do we just continue on the same contract?
We're going to continue on. It's actually going to be an additional month of collection at curbside, the way we are now, because I can't get Cascade to deliver the barrels until August 1st. So by the end of, and this is a process to watch, how they load them onto these wide body trucks and deliver them to every household that's on the list. They're going to assemble them at the I want to say, is it Beaverbrook now, the new school?
Yeah.
In the parking lot there, they need all the space, and they come in and as they're putting them together, they load them into the truck on these wide trucks, and they go throughout the town delivering them, and it'll take them approximately a week to get them delivered. So we anticipate on August 1st start date.
And you're gonna have the house numbers on them?
No, it's not going to have the house numbers, but there's chips. There's going to be these chips in the when they assign the barrel
Yeah.
from the distribution point. That chip will activate, and it will be registered as 166 Park Street, Park Ave, or Park Road, or
Yeah.
Highland Avenue, or whatever street name is.
So if somebody finds one somewhere, it'll be able to be tracked down to hotels.
Yeah, we'll be able to read it, find out where it was assigned, return it if necessary. We don't anticipate that there's going to be many
No.
missing, but we're going to have a sufficient amount. What they're also going to do is pick up the, now we can go to the automated system and put those barrels that are in the parks at curbside, and they'll be picked up
Like the one at the Grove.
as well. The Grove is going to be an interesting issue. I didn't want to get into that.
We'll just
I've
say
had
one at
I'm
Memorial
groved out.
Field.
Let's just say that I'm groved out.
I think it's a valid question.
Yeah, it is. And actually, all we're doing is recycling there. We're not picking up waste that's generated from
Of any type.
of any type. It's going to be recycling bottles, cans. The kids come in, and most of what they leave behind, other than maybe a wrapper or a sandwich wrapper or something, are Gatorade bottles, water bottles. They're always constantly hydrating themselves, and that's what's really left behind. And so that's going to be a moneymaker for us from our contractual perspective.
It's also the same with like Memorial Field when there's football games and that type of thing. We'll have recycle bins there as well.
Yep. That all has to be worked out between the Highway Department and the Park and Rec Commission. We do have a number of barrels that really are automated that we purchased years ago,
Yeah.
but never have implemented, where they've locked the barrel, so
Yeah,
you
and there's a
can't
hole
open
in
it up,
there.
and you can only fit in a round
A bottle or something.
bottle or something in the container. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to see how that's going to work, and hopefully we work out the wrinkles over the next year or so, and we're ready to go.
All right. All right.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's.
We got an $800,000 grant.
I read that in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Shared with, is it Rockland or Whitman?
Whitman, and now this is the first such grant that we have received of this nature. I've received them in Blackstone, Mansfield, and now Abington, so I've got a good, clean record of getting
This is the
grant
housing.
a housing
for those who don't
rehab.
know.
What it's going to do is going to set aside for 20 units of housing, which for housing rehabilitation, for those individuals who are income eligible based on federal guidelines, HUD guidelines for income. They'll come and put a roof on, they'll bring it up to code. You need a septic system, a heating system, whatever makes the house up to code is what they'll do. And there will be limits, of course. Now, this program will also generate program income. Let's say that you're a homeowner and you put a roof on, you had a new water closet or a toilet put in, and you had some work done for de-leading, and that came out to X number of dollars. Based on the sliding scale will determine how long the grant would be available. For example, if it's 20 years and you sell your home in 10, you have to pay back half of the grant. And that comes back to the town. It can be then used to do something else for another homeowner. So that piece is exciting because it'll keep people in their homes longer, which is a good thing. The second piece of it is that a good chunk of change is going to go to the food pantry, because our food pantry is larger than the one in Whitman. That money's there's certain monies that are going to go to the food pantry, so they're not scraping bottom all the time looking for ways in which they can get additional food products or money. A lot of that will be taken care of through the grant. And then the third piece, which is even more exciting from my perspective, is that we have what is called outreach. You're a senior citizen, you're shut in, you can't get out of the house, your kids are in California, and they call every week and talk to, somebody from the town. Can somebody go check? I called my mother, she's nowhere to be found, I can't reach her on the phone. And what this program requires is that we go out, do a complete assessment, social service assessment of what this individual needs are. And each one is different. And this outreach worker will check on people more frequently than we can do right now. So we can then post to the individual, if we have an email address, we can post, checked on mom, mom's doing well today, the visiting nurse is over, we got our Meals on Wheels, we have all other social service programs coordinated, and she gives us the ability to communicate with the son or daughter or whomever is, that is a huge relief for people who have mothers and fathers or grandparents that live here, and they don't answer the phone because they may not hear it ring, or they could be in the bathroom, or they could be.
Is that person supervised by Board of Health or COA?
It'll be the council. It'll be the council on aging. Yeah. And if there's visiting nurses that are needed, we'll work with the VNA that we have contracted with to either provide that service directly or pay for it through the grant to bring the Visiting Nurse Association in to pay for those types of service. We have never had that kind of comprehensive outreach here in the town before, and so this will be new. So it's going to be an exciting program for seniors and low and moderate income families who are who really don't have a lot of money and are looking for help. It's going to be a great program.
Great.
And we don't have to spend a dime.
Fabulous.
Yeah. The administration of the program will be paid for by the grant. So who's ever hired for the program is paid by the grant, including, I believe, and I have to check on this, if any of them are working. I don't think they're going to be working more than 20 hours, so they wouldn't be eligible for health insurance. But if they are, I believe a portion of the health insurance can be paid for by the grant.
Great. Very exciting. Good things. All right.
Yeah, that all happened while I was out. Imagine now when I come back. It's all go downhill.
You said it.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. I think it was good. I think we had a good year end. We've had some issues with financing. We were able to get the hires for the highway department, which I think is greatly needed. We couldn't meet all of our objectives, but some of them will come up next year. We're going to be able to do a little bit more in FY14 than we did in FY13. So I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Anything else?
Anything else? Okay. You're free
The
to go.
Grove opens. It's open late tonight.
Till 7. It's closed now.
Oh, it's closed now. But it
till
opened.
7. I believe they'll be open till 7 tomorrow night.
But they're extending hours because of the heat wave.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's 7.
7 is the extended.
7
Seven.
is extended tonight, and I believe tomorrow night too.
Was it very busy today?
It was very busy.
Huge, yeah.
Good.
I could imagine, yeah. You're gonna,
It's really good.
yeah,
Trees have been cut down on either side of the archway.
yeah.
Looks really nice. There's some dead trees, just bushes and stuff down by the corner of the bridge too, on the other side of the bridge, that have all been cut down.
Looks good.
It looks really nice.
And speaking of the arch, we are going to enter into contract with Dalius Associates, who are expert renovators of
Oh, good.
memorials, and statues, and arches. And so they're going to shepherd this whole project through from beginning to end. Going to do an RFP for the actual work to be performed. We expect most of it to come in under the 300,000 that we have.
Have we heard anything about the special legislation?
authorized for. That's
Did
all
we have
set.
any-
We're
Oh,
all
it's
set.
all
It
set.
was
That's
signed.
fine. Okay,
No, the
good.
governor didn't sign it, so we had to wait
Oh.
10 days, and then it was enacted.
Oh, all right,
He
good.
was away doing one of his
Dailies, is that what you said? What they are?
dailies. It's Daeilus, I think. No, I can get you that information. Yeah. But,
That's good, because the
yeah.
special legislation allows us now to
Oh, yeah, we
spend the money.
we can go
for that.
forward
Good.
now, yeah. And bond council's all set, we've got the money.
Good.
We haven't spent any of it.
Right.
It's authorized, it hasn't been expended.
Spend it, yeah.
And it looks as though we're going to have that money, a sufficient amount to do the arch. And we're hoping by September to have the Eagle fully restored.
Really?
And some of the work underway for the rededication of the arch.
Fabulous, good news.
Saturday, the big.
Oh, yeah, the big deal.
Saturday's field day and
Are
fireworks.
you in the duck tank?
No, listen, with my back, are you kidding me?
I'm pretty sure somebody
Listen,
at
let
this
me-
table's in the duck tank.
Really? I'd like to know
Pretty
who
sure.
that is. But I will tell you this, I went down to the Council on Aging to say hello. And of course, you can go down there and talk about illnesses down there, and everyone is certainly engrossed because they have the same illness, or they have spinal
Oh, somebody who
stenosis,
had
or they have
that
all these other things. And somebody, person will remain nameless, lifted up my shirt to try to see the scar. So they're very interested down there. If you have any kind of an operation, go down to the senior center.
Stay
You'll get a
away
lot
from
of
there.
sympathy.
Yeah, stay
You'll get-
away from there.
You'll get a lot of sympathy down there.
Better not be anybody I know.
No, it wasn't. I hadn't seen your mom.
Because I barred her.
No, I'll tell you, she's a wonderful lady.
Thank you. I better not be anyone I know. All right. Well, from our perspective, between now and, I think we have to meet 75 days after the first, within 75 days from the first of the fiscal year to, to reorganize.
Yeah.
We have 2 seats open. Kathleen, tonight is your last night since we won't be meeting.
Thank you
but
for your
Thank you very much
service.
for your
Thank you.
service,
Welcome.
Kathleen.
It was nice having you aboard.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I've learned so much working with wonderful people.
Yeah, it's a good board. It really is a good board.
Well, we appreciate your dedication to it, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And it's also Michelle Christian Oldham. She is also retiring from the board. And she
There
couldn't
are 2
make it tonight.
openings.
So we have 2 openings. If anyone's interested, contact Sean Riley.
We have advertised for the part-time secretary to the Park and Rec,
Okay.
and we advertised for the 2
The
positions.
IT.
Not,
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry
no,
about
we
that.
have IT,
Oh, okay, sorry.
but we have advertised for the 2 positions that we have in the budget for highway.
Okay, good. And then we have IT still.
IT
We have
is still
someone
open.
hired or not yet?
No, that's
And
going to take long.
town
And-
accountant?
Town accountant, and I want to apologize to you about that. That, a lot of that occurred while I was out
Yeah.
on sick leave, and I didn't even attend the first sessions that they interviewed. They were trying to get the process going, and they did forget, and I apologize. And that is my fault, so I take full responsibility for it. I apologize to you. That you were not included in that process. You should have been included in that process. But there were 2, really, and I'll tell you, there were 2 applicants that were qualified, deeply qualified. All of them vested in work in public sector accounting, which is far different
Yeah.
from private sector accounting. The woman that we ended up hiring is Suzanne, I'm going to bring her to the next meeting that you have,
Whatever that
and
is.
whenever that is. She starts July 2nd.
Excellent, good.
She, Moquin is her last name. She, I don't know if you had the resume sent out to you. Have you at all?
I've seen it.
You've seen it. I will get the rest of the resume out to everybody else tomorrow.
Good.
I will tell you that she comes very highly recommended. She's a self-starter, and she went back to school, got her degrees, ran a business, took care of 4 kids. I'm a firm believer, if you want to get a detailed job done correctly, hire a woman, because it'll get done properly. That is really my opinion. Very well spoken as far as from others who work with her, and has done so much in the field of public. Actually, she teaches cash reconciliation for the Department of Revenue when they have their classes in the fall. So she's well trusted, and somebody who is firm, but yet will educate. And through education, you'll get the message. If you don't, then it'll be the next stage of what don't you understand about yes and no, and how you need to procure. She's also certified as a chief procurement officer, which means that when bills come in from department heads, and she's going to want to see the procurement certification process to make sure that it was done properly. If not, then there are no bills that are going to be paid. So it's going to be a little adjustment for some of the department heads. And she lost her job in Freetown because she worked there as a dispatcher for a number of years, and then went back to school and got her degree in public accounting and got certified in public accounting and became the Freetown public accountant, and worked there, which is a 3-member board, until there was a run-in with the police chief in Freetown. He had received COPS Fast grant money, but was using that for something else, and using money from the budget to fund this position. So it was like a little switcheroo, and she exposed that and held very firm. And the police chief had friends on the board of selectmen, and as a result of that,
no good deed goes unpunished.
yeah, no good deed goes unpunished, and therefore she lost her job. But there were other things too that were involved in that, and some of that was a learning curve for her about how she should approach things. And I think she's become seasoned, even though she has I think a total of 5 or 6 years in public accounting, but she's done a lot of private accounting as well, and she's going for a CPA. So she's going to be certified as a...
Well, we'll look forward to seeing her.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when our next meeting
And she is going to work very closely with you and be at every... If I'm not here, she's going to be here.
Good.
And we're going to be here together at most of the meetings as it relates to the budget, any information that you need. The dialogue and relationship between myself and the Finance Committee should be equal with the town accountant, which means that any information you need regarding anything will be a phone call away, and she'll be able to get that information as quickly as I will. So that's the kind of relationship I want
Excellent.
going
Look
forward.
forward to meeting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous.
And it's going to be a change from what we've had.
Good.
in the past, so,
Not a bad thing.
yeah.
All right. So,
Anything else?
nope.
I think we're
Any
good.
liaison, I mean, we're just gonna, do we have any liaison reports or anything? I mean, we've kind of been a slow couple weeks, and I don't know if we have any correspondence, but as far as I'm concerned, that's, I think, what we had to do tonight. So
Did you
we're-
like our report here?
Very nice.
Yeah, your first part was revenue,
Yeah,
almost year end, 620. The Board of Health took in 76,000, almost $77,000.
is that off of KBS? Is that where are we on that now?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're
Good.
fully on that,
Excellent.
absolutely. Everything was,
Glad to see it.
That's through
Comparison
KBS.
control report plan.
Yeah.
Got it.
and it's easy to read, and it's
Expense.
easier to understand, and we hope that it becomes, we can get you quarterly reports easier, that we can send out to you through email. You can take a look at them. We can do any number of different things with KBS.
And our goal
That's
should be to have some sort of a budget in January.
Yeah, well, you know, we did the budget in January this year. We did get it out, but it's gonna be on KBS. It's
Yeah.
not going
I mean,
to be.
it's never the final, but.
No.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same process, but you'll have more detailed information.
Sooner the better. The more accurate, the better. We like all those things.
Yeah. And we'll be working from one set of numbers rather than, you know, we gotta go to this sheet, we gotta go to that sheet. It's one sheet.
It's a process.
Yes, but we're getting there.
All right, well,
Thank you.
we had some meeting minutes that we have to approve, is that
Yes.
correct? All right, let me do that quick. All right, we'll let you go.
Okay,
And,
thank you very much.
Thank you, John, for coming in,
I
and we'll see you on
appreciate
Saturday, maybe?
Yeah, you might.
Saw you walked in the parade. Yeah, what
that
are you
was-
kidding?
that
What are you
was-
thinking?
that was-
You could do the
Well, no,
parade,
they
you can
said,
get it done.
yeah, but here's the problem with the parade for me. I get fatigued because of the operation, so I have to slow down. But I
Is
can't
that
slow
why there
down.
was so much space between them?
What's there? Well, anyway.
You
what
end up with the band?
I
in the back?
had to keep grooving and moving. I couldn't.
We could have got you one of those scooters.
Should've
The
rode one
down
of the
tank, you
bikes.
just have to
Why not
sit there.
Yeah, you get jolted
What's
though.
the,
Scooter.
yeah, but what is that?
No, you're
I'm
talking
thinking
about
of-
that thing that you lean
it is.
forward and
Segway?
it moves.
Yeah.
Segway,
Segway.
yeah.
What time is your shift?
Oh, yeah, that'd have
I
been
do
great.
know
Could
that.
you
I don't
imagine?
know for sure.
Oh, I can.
Cost of the Segway?
Segway. All right,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
thanks.
John.
Thank you, Joe.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, you
Okay.
too.
You too.
Okay, so these are the minutes for our meeting on May 16th. We had a meeting on May 16th? So this isn't the meeting before the town meeting?
No.
Okay. All right, motion to approve, anyone want a motion to approve these?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, we're good, those are approved. All right, anything else anyone wants to bring up? Nope, okay, I'll take another motion. Well, again,
Motion to
one more
adjourn.
time, thank you Kathleen for your time, and this is your
Thank you
last
very much,
meeting. Thanks to
Kathleen.
Michelle Christian Olden. Thanks to all of you guys who have been here all year and are coming back, and to Sean who's not here, so, just wanted to stay tuned.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, thank you guys. Let me just shut this off.